We still have some testing to do. We got to enter the rates, run a bunch of batches to make sure that everything's dotted and crossed and there's no mistakes. So to give us enough time to do that, also with the holidays coming up, we decided January 1st would be a really good date to do that. It gives us plenty of time. So to dovetail on that, we've begun the water rate increase study. I shouldn't say increase, the water rate study. There may or may not be an increase, but with rising costs, we would assume there's going to be some recommendation for an increase. I believe that is Black and Veatch. Black and Veatch is doing that. We expect to have results from that when they complete their study, probably late spring, early summer, with a launch date. Ultimately, same process, come back to this board and then go to City Council, but with a launch date of being mid-fall, about this time next year, essentially, for the water rates. With that, I'll take any questions or give you some updates on any of the other projects we have going. We have a slew of projects at both sanitary and water, so.
Any questions, comments? Okay, I think you're off the hook. All right, I saw our financial person came in the door.
Yeah, apologies for the delay.
Oh, that's okay. We're just dying with anticipation.
I figured as much. Okay, well, I can kind of get us started here. Starting off with power and light for the month. We finished the month an actual amount of $38 million for a $157 million budget, 24.25%. Definitely a good start to the quarter there. And then going down to operating expenses, we're at 20.24% of total operating costs. So we did exceed revenue with that, which is always appreciated. Then coming down, investment income as well was up month over month and year over year, which was great. And then total non-operating was up as well. And if we come down to the next page here, we can see with our capital projects amount, we're sitting around $51 million for the year. We utilized $396,000 of that as the actual amount. And then as Joe always points out on the following page, we have all our list of CIP projects. So all of this money has been accounted for the year and will be used for ongoing projects as well.
I do have a couple of comments on the CIP page while we're there.
Yes, sir.
So something you guys will see go to council is I'm going to be shifting around some money to pay for some, I will say, partial anticipated and partial unanticipated costs. So our unit J2, which is one of our combustion turbines, we had some issues with it and did an inspection, and it needs some new blades and vanes on the first couple of stages of that. So those are basically like fan blades, and they're not cheap, right? So it's around $3 million that we need to pay for that, but I think as this board hopefully has come to understand, we cannot do without the capacity, right? We need those units to be available and be operational for our Southwest Power Pool commitments. So what I'm going to do is, if you look at projects 202314 and 202316, that's the construction of the new substation S out for the Blue Valley Eastgate Commerce Center, right? So some of those dollars were, that project development probably isn't moving along quite as fast as we had hoped, but we're still in engineering phases and are still going to need to procure some equipment. So I've taken some of the dollars from those projects and pushed them out to make room for this J2 bucket. And then the third project that I'm going to affect, I guess I got that backwards. And if you look at 202504, the Blue Valley Chimney demolition, I know we've had a lot of discussion and we kind of have the study and the cost on that. You guys know we do a study every single year on that to test the integrity and make sure that it's not, you know, in danger of falling down. And that was kind of pushed by, let's get ready and start moving towards the future and getting that site ready for future needs. Well, that chimney doesn't necessarily need to come down that year, and I need those dollars for this project as well. So I'm pushing that project out, going to use those for the J2 buckets, and then when we get to AMI project program management, I'm going to use the dollars from those projects as well to help fund the AMI program management. So that's my plans. That's not, the AMI program management is not the whole project. That's just, right, that overarching umbrella we've discussed in here several times. So just wanted you guys to know that you're going to see some things go to council where we're kind of moving some dollars around to make way and make room in our budget without having to try to dig into reserves and take those dollars out. That's okay, I hope. Is anybody important? Do we need to get back with them? So just wanted you guys to be aware when you see those things go to council, that's what those are, is just moving some dollars around so we can make way for some projects that kind of came up. Any questions on that? I know it's super exciting, and I know that page has a lot of numbers on it, but just wanted you guys to be aware.
All right.
Any questions or comments?
Comments?
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, moving on down to water for the month. They finished at 19% of actual revenue, $6.2 million of the $32 million amended budget. Expenses were a little bit higher this month, finishing at 20.93%. A big fuel driver of that was our supplies cost of 48.24%. We are seeing an uptick in the tariffs, and the things that we're importing are causing supply prices to go up a little bit. And then coming on down to our next page, our CIP projects, for the $32 million allotted, we've used $888,000 of those CIP projects. And we can see on the following page, those dollars allotted out. And then moving on down to WPC, operating revenues at 15.96%, finished at $5.7 million of the $35 million budget. We did see total operating expenses drop a little bit to 13.14, but as we can see, that supply line was at 55% of that. We can see that, like I had mentioned with the tariffs and stuff, we've seen a lot of uptick in our supply cost. And then moving on to the following page, of our $21 million capital project amended, we've used $819,000 of that year to date, which is on track for the year. And then our following page will have a list of those projects as well and the utilization. Any questions regarding WPC or water?
Somebody's evaluation's not going well upstairs.
You drop stuff up there.
I would say not.
Any questions on this? Okay, guess not.
Thank you.
Okay, now we're down to IPL, update on the AMA project manager.
Yeah, so I think we've reached the final terms and conditions, and we're all in agreement and going to move forward with that. And I want to bring the specifics to that maybe to the next meeting. Between now and then, I'll get permission to move those dollars around and pay for it. So you guys should see that real soon, who the winner is and what their actual plan is. And then as soon as they get in and on board, then I would I guess I would see them coming to this meeting and giving you guys a presentation for how they intend to implement that project as a whole.
Yeah, we definitely would like
So,
that.
yes, lots of discussions there.
Okay.
And the other thing I did want to, I'll piggyback on Mike's thanks to this board for supporting the increase in the customer charge. That's going to be implemented January 1 as well. I'm not saying that January 1 that you will see it immediately. To me, it's going to be implemented with, we have different routes, and starting with Route 1 and the first billing of the first year of the new year, you will start seeing that. So it may be like the February 1st bills where you'll start seeing those impacting.
Okay, thanks for the heads up on that, because I'm sure we'll hear comments. Okay, and then we got the statistical charts.
All right, I'm gonna hit some highlights and then I will answer any questions that you have. Our total kilowatt hours were up overall. Residential and commercial were both up this month, or in August, I'm sorry. Industrial stayed relatively flat compared to last year. Our total billed revenue is up based on usage, and you'll see that same trend with residential and commercial being up and industrial staying flat. Your cumulative are staying, fairly close to the years before. We are only 2 months in, so I will note on the temperature and humidity page, the temperature for August of 25 was the lower of the 3 years, but your humidity for August of 25 was significantly higher on your averages than the prior 3 years, which can contribute to usage. And then, of course, we have our customer count on the last page. I would be happy to answer any questions that you have.
Any questions on the charts? I like this layout. It just gives you a snapshot real quick of what's going on. Okay, well, thank you.
So I want to point out something real quick, though.
All right,
I know the optics are, right? We use more electricity, so we got to pay IPL more money, right? But on the back end, I had to pay SPP more money for that energy as well, right? So a lot of the charges that IPL sees is a straight pass-through. We're a nonprofit organization. We're not here to make a bunch of money. We're here to use your dollars in the best sense that we can. So when you see kilowatt hours up and our expenses are up, that's also my expenses are up as well. So I just want to point that out because I know there's optics out there of, okay, well, IPL just got to make a bunch of money because we used electricity. Well, we spent a bunch of money too serving customers and making sure that we could get the energy to your home.
that's a good point. All right, thank you. All right. Interim city manager, deputy city manager, Grand Puab. You're up.
All right, the first topic for me is an update on IPL governance. I passed all of them out. I apologize for not having them included in your packet, but this is the most recent comments version of what council has and will be discussing in a study session on the 27th of this month. So if you are interested in that conversation, there will be this will be the second study session reviewing these proposed changes. As I have not yet, well, everyone seems to be pretty much okay with these changes as this version stands. So the city attorney is actively working on the ordinance and ballot language associated with this. And then we, of course, will modify that as necessary if any changes come out of the conversation on the 27th.
Yeah, I really hope that it's gone through because the last time we tried the 5 with the charter, I was on the charter review and spent over a year going through that, and to look at what was presented, I didn't even understand what was going on. So I really hope that
It has been mentioned that it would make the language as clear as
I think they got paid
possible.
by the word, I guess. Do have some questions on some of the language. I know Michael Talcott's got a question, and some of this language, I guess, is already in the charter. It wasn't changed. Is that correct?
Correct.
And we're going to go through and make a change here. One comment in here is on section 313. It talks about the electric utility now owned or which may be future acquired shall be controlled and operated by a board known as the Board of Public Utilities.
Mm-hmm.
That's BPU, that's Kansas.
I mean, it is, but I'm sure they're also not the only one in the country. but-
Probably not. It just seems funny that, I know we were going for what, the Board of, yeah, Utility Board or whatever. So is that just a different phrasing for something else, or?
No, that's just, so it can be modified to be called.
Okay, well, I just
Something
wondered
else?
about with the language in there, if we should change it to what we're trying to establish here, so people don't look at that and go, I thought we were doing this, but this says something different, so I didn't know.
Okay.
Questioned that. And then,
Could I make one comment to
Please.
my friend, Mr. Chairman? I suspect the average citizen doesn't know about the Board of Public Utilities in Kansas City, Kansas, so it's probably more of a problem in this room than it is to.
with this individual, you mean?
I think a lot of people know.
It's just something to be, to question, is all. I used to like you.
I still like you.
I would like to make one comment, not terribly radical, but if we did call it the Public Utility Board, it would be a pub. People would like that.
Everybody loves a pub.
Yeah. So I was just questioning that phrasing.
Trying a little PR here, man.
And Michael had a question.
Yeah, I've got a question on 3.17. That's the one that I asked about at the last meeting, and they, former city manager explained that they took that directly out of Springfield's, out of their language, but they left out, they changed it because Springfield says not more than 5 members shall belong to the same political party. Now, for them to just say nonpartisan, our elections are nonpartisan here, but we know people are of the different parties. And the problem that I see with that is there's one party that historically goes for renewables, battery, all that kind of stuff. The other party tends to go a little more toward gas, fossil fuel, things like that. So if you have one main party, I don't care which one, but if you don't make them equal, then you don't get a balanced comment about this as opposed to this or this as opposed to that. So that's my big concern with that. Because I couldn't support this being the way it is.
Noted.
Okay, any other comments on the language? October 27th,
October 27th,
evening,
6 o'clock.
6 o'clock,
Yep.
in the council chambers.
Yes.
They'll be doing a meeting on this, so make sure you're there if you can be.
And then the second item on the agenda is update on the IMC move. Municipal Services is officially in the building. We are not open to the public. We had a bit of an issue with that just yesterday, I think, where we had a member of the public in trying to already do some business with the city. And unfortunately, as it's an active construction zone, we can't be doing that. So we're still scheduled for everyone to be in by the end of this calendar year. Our final floor for construction purposes is the first floor, and the substantial completion date on that floor is November 26th. So move-in would be a few weeks after that. Substantial completion, we walk through, we do the punch list, find all the things that need to be touched up, clean the carpets, move the furniture in, do the things. So that takes a couple weeks, and I like to give a little bit of cushion, but still tracking for that to be our substantial completion date. We are getting ready to do the punch list walk for the 4th floor on Monday, the 20th. So that that's the third of in the order of operations here. So we've already done punch list, and they're actively setting up furniture on the 3rd floor. So still moving right along, still targeting for the end of this year and to be open to the public. And our housing for the kiosks for paying bills are set up out front, so waiting for those to be installed. They're on site, just working to get those installed soon and moving right along.
Okay. Question on, for the PUAB, will we continue to meet here, or is the plan to eventually move us out?
The plan is to move and have the PUAB meetings at the
And
Commons.
is there a place like on the first floor for us
There
to be
is.
able to roll in? and-
Yes.
Okay, just thinking of building access.
Yep. It's actually, it will be right off the public entrance, so
Okay,
very accessible.
very good, thank you. Okay, any questions on the move? Okay, now we're down to discussion. We've got the one item on here is the recommendation to create a Citizens Advisory Council for IPL governance. I believe it was sent to everybody. We don't have a copy here, but it was sent to you in email. And I believe that Mr. McLucky,
Yeah.
I'll turn it over to you.
We talked about this a little bit last meeting. I'll just say there was a change that I made after speaking with a couple council people here. Councilman Fears was here last time, as well as Schaunemeyer. I said Schaunemeyer, Councilman. That's a future councilman. McCandless. And what I forgot who suggested it, one of the two. On the appointment, if you look at this, the appointment in the new one says, there shall be a Citizens Advisory Council composed of the members of the Public Utility Advisory Board. The CAC may convene monthly in conjunction with the PUAB or separately. There'd be 7 people appointed to the separate CAC board. Their suggestion was, rather than finding 7 more people, and you've already got this board, do it that way. So that's kind of the big change from the last time. I don't know how many of you looked at it on email, but I thought that was a good idea, so I put it in there. My assumption is this is kind of a suggestion to council. I bet they have a lawyer look at it and do some things to it, maybe. I tried to just use the basic language from Springfield and then add a couple of things or changed a couple of things that would fit our model better. So if folks are ready to vote this meeting, I'll make a motion. If not, we can punt it till next meeting. There's no big hurry, I guess, because April's an election. Election's in April, sorry.
Question on, so what's your intent on the members of CAC being, or the PUAB being members of the CAC? So what's the purpose in that? Because aren't we redoing PUAB with CAC, correct? Or are we keeping PUAB
The
along with
PUAB will continue to exist, if I understand correctly, with water and, do we call it wastewater? Is that what we like to call it? Okay. So we would still be doing those two. IPL is gonna move on from PUAB. That's why creating the CAC, which would advise the Board of Public Utilities. Yeah.
So what's the purpose of the PUAB then going to be, just to do water and sewer?
I'm just following what the plan is that we've been
Because
told
this is a
about.
little confusing to me.
It is.
It's very confusing.
Well, maybe we can
Yeah.
work on the language and make it clear. The other option is to go back to my original, which was appoint 7 members to the CAC and not connect it with the Board of Public Utilities. This was my attempt to take the discussion with the 2 council members and to say, let's see if we can make that work.
Because then you're going to have the CAC meet at the same time as PUAB. So you're going to have 14 people all meeting at the same.
Okay. So this is helpful because it is confusing. It would be the same people. This language says that if you're on the PUAB, you're also on the CAC.
Okay, but my thought with the CAC originally was to get just a lot of common people to represent the citizens
Right.
separate from the PUAB, not to have the PUAB be the CAC also.
Yeah. I understand. I consider us a common people here on the PUAB and as an advisory board. So I would, as I said last meeting, I'm not wedded to any of this. It was just a suggestion. You have just shown that it is a little confusing. And maybe there's a way to fix that without creating 2 different boards.
And okay, and then my other question is, so this won't even take effect until the charter change, correct?
I would think so, yes. I mean, there's the election in April,
Right,
creating the new board yes.
right. So
Right.
then they're going to have, the language will be on the question with both of those, PUAB and PUB.
You're
Correct.
above my pay grade. I assume some city folks and the attorneys have talked about that.
Because PUAB is one of those shall be a PUAB.
Yes, PUAB is a
To-
charter requirement.
Right,
Yes.
right. So when they put the thing in there for the governance, is that going to be part of that? So in other words, in the question, are they going to say, we're changing PUAB to CAC?
No, there's nothing about the CAC that would be part of the charter change.
But it's going to be an official entity, correct?
There's, at this moment, no guarantee of that, no. The PUAB will exist, yes, and the new advisory board, in whatever name it is given,
Okay,
will exist.
okay.
But no, at this point, those are the only things that would be proposed in the charter.
Yeah, if you do any kind of a citizens advisory, like you're talking about, that would be handled.
That would be ancillary and not a
It
charter.
doesn't have to be in the charter.
Correct.
Yeah.
The PUAB, as she said, is called out in the charter.
And will remain.
Yeah, and it would be kind of confusing to me to have the same group with two different names, because then you don't know which group you're on. So it may be they do double duty. Oh, sorry.
Say that again.
I still got my feelings hurt from that last comment. I think it's going to be confusing for folks that are on the PUAB/CAC, not knowing which group they're representing at what time. And I'd like to come up with,
Yeah.
whether it's the same name, and they just hand, maybe that PUAB that addresses the Board of Public Utilities, or whatever we're calling it, also would handle then, water and wastewater, public comments and stuff then too. I don't know. I'm not sure how that would work.
I think the difficulty is PUAB is in the charter and the CAC is not going to be.
Right,
So how you do that.
yeah.
And if this is too confusing, we just go back to suggesting to the city council that there's a CAC and they appoint different people.
Well, I'm always about citizen input. I never want
Yeah.
to stifle that.
That's, yeah,
And there's not too many avenues, it seems like at times, for people to do that.
right. And that's
if
why I
we
thought
can
this was
if we
important.
can
Every other,
Figure out a way to do it.
I'm sorry to interrupt.
I'm all for it.
right, absolutely. And as I said, every other municipal utility we looked at has some kind of citizen advisory. So I'm trying to provide that in independence, keep that.
And if we can try and make it not too complicated.
Absolutely, yeah.
That's, I'd say let's do a little bit
I'm
more
going to say, let's hold off. Yeah.
discussion on it, yeah.
This was helpful, and let's work on it. In fact, if anybody wants to meet and talk about it and work on it between meetings, I'm happy to do that.
We just have to be careful and not get a quorum or anything, so we don't
Right.
want a sunshine law issue.
Or we'll have a public committee meeting.
Yeah.
Okay,
So anyway, so that's the things to think about. We'll take a look at, we'll dig into it some more, so we'll kind of table that issue. then
Good.
maybe to the next
Perfect.
one. We'll bring it back.
thank you.
Okay, board member comments. I've also got /Councilman Fears. Any comments, questions, concerns? Okay, very good. Anybody up here have anything? Wow, quiet group.
Mr. Chair,
Yes?
I have something to add real quick.
Well,
So-
board member comments, but we'll go ahead.
I know,
and just-
I didn't hear anyone speak up, so I thought it was a good time.
Go ahead.
One thing I failed to mention earlier regarding the rate increase, we understand that not all of our residents and our ratepayers watch all the council meetings or watch this board meeting, so might not be aware of the coming rate increase. So we've been working very closely with Joe's utility billing group to craft a public message for the next couple of months. So we won't be catching everyone off guard, hopefully,
Yep.
when this goes into effect. And I believe we're doing this, Joe's group, they're doing the same thing for your increases as well. So the idea is not to catch people by surprise. So we'll have a little bit of a mini PR campaign over the next couple of months to make sure everyone's aware.
Good, yeah, you still will surprise some folks that never heard it, or they've heard it and forgot it, so, but I think it's good to always keep reminding them. That's good. Okay, final thoughts? Okay, our next meeting is November 20th. Looking for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
A second?
Second.